Alaina McMurty, Am I Good Enough?
Thank you, Kimberly. When I think about am I good enough, I think about imposter syndrome. Has anybody ever experienced imposter syndrome besides me out there? I hope I'm not the only one. Well, statistics say that 75% of women deal with imposter syndrome and 63% of men. So my guess is that I'm not the only one. So what I want to do today is I'm going to give you a brief overview of what we did on Saturday. I'm really excited about it. And the way that I intend to do that is to talk to you about my journey to figuring out whether or not I am good enough. So that said, and then give you an idea of what you might be able to do to stay in the space of feeling good enough about yourself. That said, let me go ahead and move on. Again, Alaina McMurty, I want to introduce myself to you. I am a corporate trainer and newly turned speaker. I've been a corporate trainer for 30 years. The light bulb moments are what that lights me up and gives me great joy. I want to start off by telling you about the first experiences that I earned my glasses, which you'll learn about in just a moment. This is 4-year-old Alaina. My parents had me when they were freshmen in college, and I have students that are in college now, and I can't imagine them being parents. So I imagine that was tough for them. My mom came home. We lived in Michigan and got a job. My dad stayed at school. My maternal grandparents raised me. It was so cool. I didn't know we were broke. Who knew? I had everything that I needed. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. My paternal grandparents also lived in the same town, but they were the rich ones. And I enjoyed going over there. My dad has a younger sister that's only 2 years older than me. Her name is Lori, and she was my very first best friend. So one Christmas, I went to spend Christmas Eve with Lori, and we were preparing for Santa Claus. Really excited. You know how children are about not being able to sleep when it's time to go to bed. Santa Claus is coming, so excited, right? That was us. But we finally got to sleep, and when we woke up, there were toys everywhere. This was the kind of display where all the toys were assembled and they were sort of set out. So I just walked out into a sea of amazing toys. I was so excited. Santa came, he delivered. There was a Barbie townhome. Maybe some of you guys remember that. There was one of those Barbie van thingies. I don't know what you call that. So I went over to those. They were the big shiny ones, and I was so excited about it. Well, I soon learned that those toys, probably 98% of the toys were for Lori. Now, I was at her parents' house, right? But as a 4-year-old, all I knew was that Santa Claus didn't bring me what I wanted. What I wanted were those big toys. So what I did was I earned myself a pair of what I now refer to as not good enough glasses because I didn't feel good enough. Lori got the dream house. She got the Barbie bus thingy. I got a baby alive doll, and it was black. Don't judge me, but I didn't want no black doll at the time. I don't know. It's blame it on the media. I'm good now. I love myself. I'm fine. Don't worry. But this is what I got. Oh, there it is. Not happy. And just proof that I was not trying to fool with any black dolls. Here's me and my favorite. This is Donna on the left, and I don't remember my white baby alive doll on the right. So the next thing, that was when I earned my not good enough glasses. I want to tell you a little bit about Ray, who was my cousin. She was about 4 years older than me. And we used to go to, when I was about 6 years old, we used to spend the summers at our aunt and uncle's house in Gary, Indiana. And you couldn't tell me. I was from Benton Harbor, Michigan, so Gary, Indiana was the big city, and I couldn't wait, right, to go. And there were 3 bedrooms. One was an office, and she and I shared the back bedroom. And I went to their house every year until I was in my teenage years, right? But what they didn't know was at nights when we were alone, right? She was 4 years older than me, did things that were inappropriate to me. That's where I earned my shame glasses. Now, the reason I'm sharing this about the glasses is because when you put glasses on and they have colors, you start to see things through the perspective of the glasses. So when I talked to you about my not good enough glasses, I put those on. I saw the world through me not being good enough or not feeling good enough. Well, now I have some shame glasses, so I get to walk around with that as well. I lived in Benton Harbor, Michigan, as mentioned, and that was an all-black town. I moved when I was 10 years old to Owensboro, Kentucky, which was, say it with me, all white. Which is not an issue, really, the cultural differences. And I had questions about my hair and can I touch it and whether or not I tanned when the sun came out and those kinds of things. Understandably, I understand that now that people were just curious. But as a little 10-year-old girl, I felt there was shame there because I was the only one. And guess what else? I had my not good enough glasses. I have a couple, and I was getting hard to even see. Not sure if you guys are relating. I hope so, because I can't see you. So those are just a couple things. My father passed last year, and we had a great relationship once I got older. But when I was about 13, mind you, he was 18 years old when I was born. So he's still growing up as well. I remember him taking me to a work event with him. It was a cookout. All the kids were playing, and I yelled, "Daddy, Daddy!" And he came up to me looking kind of like, he's like, "Hey, don't call me Daddy here." Wait, what? Don't call you Daddy. So, needless to say, right? My shame glasses, my not good enough glasses. Why am I not good enough that my dad, I can't even call him Daddy? Now, of course, since then, I've learned, he went through what he went through. He had to do what he had to do in order to be okay. And we talked about that, and it's fine. So as you're seeing, as I'm growing, I am earning more and more glasses and seeing things from the perspective of not good enough, of shame. And then in graduate school, mind you, there's plenty of examples, but I'm being fast. I was an admission counselor for Murray State University is where I went for graduate school. And my territory was Southern Illinois. And I went to this very small town, think Mayberry. And I was there early for my high school visit. I went to a diner, like a storefront diner. And I walked in and everybody turned and looked at me. Well, I was living in Kentucky at the time, and I was used to being the only, so that wasn't a big deal. So I ordered my food, which I hope they didn't spit in, because a very old man, he was probably close to 90, if not, came over and handed me a napkin. And on that napkin, he asked me if I would cook and clean for him. I'm in graduate school and I'm pretty cute. Like, I don't think, is this giving maid vibes? I don't know. Man, who knows? I don't know. But he asked me to clean his house for him. That's what he saw when he looked at me. And I earned what I'm going to call here black stuff glasses. I probably earned these before that event, but I just want to introduce that to you. And that's the thing. So now I have several pairs of glasses, and honestly, the glasses are still not far. I have to do things now to ensure that I don't keep the glasses on. And so I want to introduce chapter 2, Quiet on the Set, right? I read these two books that were very integral in me changing my mindset. And hopefully you guys are with me with imposter syndrome. And there's two things that I want to share with you before I finish. And the first is I went to a landmark education. Anybody ever heard of landmark? Have you ever gone to the forum? It's amazing if you ever hear of it. One of the things the forum leader said to us was, just when I'm in person, I have people actually do this. I'll say chocolate or vanilla, choose, right? And then we'll have people raise their hand and somebody will say, well, I said, okay, what is it? And they said chocolate. I'm like, great. Why? Oh, because it's delicious. Thank you, but no, right? And then somebody else said vanilla. Why? Because I'm allergic to chocolate. That's fantastic, but no. And we went on and on like that for a while until someone raised their hand and she said, yes, you know, what is it? And they said vanilla. And she said, why do you choose vanilla? And the answer was, because I choose vanilla. She said, absolutely. And I'll talk to you a bit more about that in a moment, but I had a hip hop revelation. Now, during this time, face to face, there's music playing and I'm doing a hip hop dance, demonstrating what I was doing at the time. And it's very, can't really chair dance, but you can imagine. My son, my 16-year-old son, my oldest, I have 4 sons. My oldest came with me, probably begrudgingly, but whatever. He was standing behind me on my right side. And so I'm doing the thing, right? Getting serious about it. He leans up, he goes, Mom, I'm like, yes, what is it? What is it? He was like, oh, so I'm, trying to ignore him. Mom, yes, son, what is it? He goes, I'm embarrassed. I said, Dylan, why are you embarrassed? He says, I'm embarrassed because I feel like people are watching me. At that moment, my reply to him was, son, they're not watching you. They're afraid you're watching them. Wow. So that makes me wonder if we're all concerned about the same things. If I'm concerned about you looking at me, you concerned about me looking at you, everyone is dealing with this, where the majority, right, of people are dealing with imposter syndrome. What can we do about that? Well, we get to choose, right? We get to choose for the sake of choosing. So what I'm telling you is that you are not alone in this. And we get to choose to be good enough. Chocolate or vanilla, choose. It's simply a choice. It's not easy, but it's simple. Okay. So I want to tell you one last thing, and I'll go ahead and pass it. I'll pass it along. We all have belief systems, and the belief systems consist of things that we think, which lead to things that we say, right? And we all know that words are very powerful. The power of the tongue, right? Life and death. We hear that thoughts become things, so many different areas. It's a spiritual law. The beliefs that we have and the experiences, which I call actions. So thoughts or words, beliefs, and then the experiences that we may call actions. So if we have these beliefs and they're limiting, right? Like when I wear my glasses and I see myself and I believe that I'm not good enough, that affects the thoughts that I have, which affects the words that I have, which creates the experiences that I have, which validate the belief that I'm not good enough. So of those 3 things, think about which one you think would be the easiest to change. Which one do you think? Well, I will offer that the easiest to change might be thoughts, because we can catch our thoughts before they become words and come out of our mouth. Yes? So if we change the words that we say, if we say more empowering things, contrary to I'm not good enough, I am strong, I am powerful, right? If we say them enough times, then our experiences might reflect that we are powerful and amazing and good enough, which then make our beliefs different, which it's a cycle, right? So once that one thing, you have new beliefs and new thoughts and new experiences. And that is how we get out of those limiting beliefs and install new empowering beliefs. So this is not all my presentation, but I'm going to stop here. And I just want to share with you, that these were my experiences. I know we all have our own experiences growing up and maybe earning your own glasses, but I want to encourage you and empower you to know that you can change them. And that's all. I'm finished. Thank you.